Welcome to the Explainer. We're going to talk about a pretty wild prediction today. The idea is that the AI that's already in your pocket, it's about to completely upend one of the biggest industries on the planet, processed food. All right, so let's just jump right in. What does the end of ultra-processed foods even mean? Are we just talking about getting rid of some junk food? Well, the argument we're digging into today says it's way, way bigger than that. See, it's not really about the food itself. It's about the end of a whole economy. An economy that basically runs on exploiting what we don't know. It's all about something called an information gap, that space between what they know about what's in their product and what you know. And let me tell you, for a long time, that gap has been incredibly profitable. Okay, so what changes things? Well, the key here is AI. AI is the spark that's going to light this fire. Its main job? To completely close that information gap we just talked about, the one that's let companies sell us stuff that's cheap and easy, but maybe not exactly what we think it is. I mean, just think about it for a second. For years, this has been the playbook, right? You've got flashy marketing, really nice packaging, all designed to sell you something without you really knowing the full story about the long-term health effects. The whole business model kind of relies on us being too busy or confused to look too closely. But now, imagine a world, and we're not talking science fiction here, where that information gap just, poof, gone. Why? Because the smartphone in your hand is about to become your own personal, and I mean brutally honest, nutritionist. And it's going to start really simple. You're in the grocery store, you pick up a can of soup, and your phone's AI just gives you a little heads up in real time. Hey, that has way too much sodium. Boom, just like that. No more squinting, tiny labels trying to figure it all out. Okay, but it gets so much deeper than just the basics. The AI is going to give you the kind of scientific details that, until now, only a specialist would know. So it's not just going to say, oh, this has phosphates. It's going to say, yeah, and your body absorbs 85% of the phosphates in this particular food, and then explain what that actually means for you. And this is the real kicker. This is the game changer. Your AI is going to become a real-time fact checker for all those marketing claims. You see a healthy product that says it does something special for you? Your AI is going to go, let me check the clinical data on that. Actually, there's no significant proof that it works. The marketing just breaks. So what does all this do? It completely changes how we think. We go from having this vague feeling, this probably isn't great for me, to having a quantified personal risk assessment. It's not a hunch anymore. It's math. And this info is going to be presented in a way that's, it's impossible to ignore. It'll put it in terms that matter to you. Not just some abstract warning, but something like, hey, if you eat this 3 times a week, your personal risk of kidney issues goes up by 25%. It connects the food directly to a consequence for your body. So when you have millions of people armed with this kind of instant, personalized data, the whole foundation of the processed food industry just starts to crumble. All the old tricks, the old ways of doing things, they just don't work anymore. This is the point where marketing pretty much becomes useless. Think about it. A company can spend millions on an ad campaign, and a single notification from your phone can tear it all down in a second. The AI basically becomes the only label that matters. And for the companies making this stuff, this creates a huge problem, a real dilemma. Because if the AI calls them out on all the additives, they have to remove them. But if they remove them, the food doesn't last as long. A shorter shelf life means logistics get way more expensive and the price goes up. They basically lose their competitive edge. They're kind of trapped. Now, you might be thinking, well, this is just for people who are already super into health. But the argument here is, no. This is going to create an era of what you could call forced awareness. It's going to wipe out the idea of the indifferent consumer, the person who just doesn't care. And that group, that's been the industry's bread and butter for decades. So, how does that happen? Well, it's not about you having to actively look for this stuff. It's about constant little nudges. A simple notification on your phone. Your salt intake was a little high today. Or, your food choices this week increased your glycation stress. The AI just keeps putting the information in front of you, making it pretty much impossible to ignore. And it's not just going to be about your health. Sooner or later, this data is going to connect to your wallet. You can just see it coming, right? Your health insurance company giving you a discount for good eating habits, all verified by your AI. Or maybe even government programs. All of a sudden, eating unhealthy doesn't just feel bad, it costs you real money. It becomes a bad financial decision. Okay, so if this is the future, what does it actually look like? Who makes it and who doesn't? Well, the key to survival isn't going to be better marketing. It's going to be a complete pivot, a shift away from hiding things to being totally, radically honest. From what we're looking at, it seems like companies will have three basic paths to survive. One, they can just go clean, make genuinely healthy food, and accept that it's going to cost more to produce and ship. Two, they can get smart and develop new kinds of foods that are designed to work with these AI health systems. Or three, they can be honest. Just say, look, this is a treat, it's not health food, and market it that way as a high-end indulgence. I gotta say, this next idea is pretty cool. The AI basically becomes a new kind of selection pressure on the food industry. It's like a force of nature. It creates an environment where the stuff that's bad for us just can't survive. It gets weeded out. And the stuff that's actually good for us thrives. It's literally Darwin's theory of evolution, but for the aisles of your grocery store.
And that right there is the big transformation. The whole system flips. The market stops rewarding tricky marketing and addictive formulas, and instead it starts rewarding honesty and real, genuine quality. The entire economic reason for being for a lot of these companies just gets turned completely upside down.
So that leaves us with one last question. And it's a pretty personal one for all of us. When this future gets here, and it's probably coming faster than we think, when your phone starts spitting out the cold, hard truth about everything you eat, take a look at your own kitchen, your pantry, your fridge. Will the stuff in there now be the stuff that survives?